Here's a question we don't get asked very often. When do you feel most alive? Not successful, not productive, not even happy, just alive. Because the moments when you feel most alive aren't random. They're clues, they're breadcrumbs pointing toward your purpose. And today, we're going to follow those breadcrumbs. Hi, I'm Dr. Dave, and welcome back to the Good Life Lab, where we experiment and explore tools, tips, and techniques for enhancing our well-being and boosting our mood. I'm a therapist and college professor turned YouTuber and content creator. My goal is to share my life experience as a therapist, as a client myself, as somebody who's wrestled with well-being most of his life and learned a few things. I started this channel, the Good Life Lab, to share that experience and hopefully help a few people in the process. This is day 7 of my series From Languishing Lost to a Good Gay Life. And if you haven't been following along, it's probably best to start with day 1 of this series. As I'm mapping out this compass, this process for enhancing your meaning and purpose in life, finding clear direction, and just giving you some things to think about regarding your purpose in life. If you have been following along in this series, we've mapped out your past, looked at your origin story, reframed your life as a heroic journey, and now we're moving into the future. We've kind of looked at where you are and where you've been, and now we're moving towards where you want to be. Where are you going with this journey that you're on right now? A lot of people spend, including myself, a lot of their lives looking for this grand purpose in life. And that feels overwhelming, really impossible to grasp. But what if clues to your life purpose are hiding in plain sight, in the moments when you genuinely come alive? Today is a crucial point in this compass approach, or this compass framework that I've been talking about. We're going to use your spontaneous joys and deepest curiosities as clues to write your future. If you want a life filled with flow, happiness, and meaning, we're going to ask the question that Howard Thurman, a theologian, proposed back in the day. In short form, he put it this way: ask yourself what makes you come alive and go do that. So let's go ahead and follow those breadcrumbs found in your passions, your interests, your curiosities. As usual, I like to provide a little research to back up what I'm talking about. In positive psychology, which is my field, what I've been researching for a while now, passion and vitality are strongly linked with well-being. Research by Robert Vallerand and others show that people who pursue harmonious passions, so those are interests that energize who they are and who they want to be, those people report higher levels of happiness, flow, and meaning. And this doesn't have to be a big, glamorous, grand purpose or passion that you have. It's not just about chasing a dream career or climbing Mount Everest. It's first about noticing the moments when you feel most alive, most engaged, creative, and present. Keep in mind that these harmonious passions are like coordinating points, or like breadcrumb clues to what's next. They may even point toward your purpose. That's why I love Howard Thurman's quote. The full quote is, "Don't ask yourself what the world needs. Ask yourself what makes you come alive and go do that. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive." So as we move into how to go about identifying some passions and interests and curiosities, I've been asking you to work on a life list, or a come alive list. And so we're going to be refining that some more today and talking about how to go from what I've asked for you to do is 25 items down to really one or a few that you can begin to focus on for this year-long project I've been talking about, the Good Life Project. So if you're just catching up and you haven't really followed along in the series, and even if you have, just a reminder about what a Come Alive list is. It's a running list of your dreams, your curiosities, your experiences, things that make you come fully alive, your harmonious passions or interests that energize you. If you've started your Come Alive list already, open that document and we'll get started on this list and refining it. So as I've mentioned, the goal is to write 25 life list items. And at least, if you want to do more, that's fine, but at least try to shoot for 25. These could range from big dreams to small goals, small delights that you have, that you feel about your life. I'm going to go ahead and share my life list. I've done this several times throughout my life, which I recommend. You have different seasons of life. It's great for me to be able to look back, 10, 20 years and see what I was thinking about 20 years ago and compare them to what I'm thinking about now. It helps me clue into what's really important to me. What are my core values? What do I want to make sure I don't forget to pursue in my lifetime? So I'm going to walk you through my life list items that relate to this year-long project I did when I turned 46. and I call it Project 46. So I'm going to just walk you through those real quick and give you an example of what this looks like. Here are my list of items. So I wanted to find a partner in crime. I wanted to find greater peace with God. I wanted to experience laughter yoga, just laugh more in my life. I wanted to have a fit cross physique. I wanted to have greater peace of mind, be more myself. This is when I was still trying to come out more fully and just be comfortable with who I was as a gay man. I wanted to get some tattoos. I wanted to do the Camino de Santiago in Spain. I wanted a cool car. I was at a time where I was in between jobs and had this old Volkswagen Passat. I had like over 200,000 miles on it, so I wanted something new. I wanted to work with people in Africa. I had been there a few times and worked with the community there, so I wanted to follow up with that. To support my family, help my nieces and nephews succeed. Finished a documentary on 12 Months to Live, which is another project I did. Now it's called The Year I Lived. So I've finished the documentary, now I'm working on a book related to that. I want to create a website, complete my 12 months book, have a unique home and where it's quiet, peaceful, green, and unique. I wanted to have what I called idea parties for dreamstorming. So just gathering people together and present an issue or problem that one of us is dealing with and just brainstorm with each other. I wanted a spiritual listening group to help others discover their calling and for myself. I wanted laughter gatherings, storytelling gatherings. I wanted meaningful work, investment properties. I wanted to travel, be more grateful, have clear direction for my life, and a closer, tight-knit community. So those are a few examples. I don't think it's 25, but gives you an idea of what I did when I was 45, looking as I'm turning 46. And it's really not about what's realistic at this point. All brainstorming, I've done a lot of brainstorming with groups and leaders and teams, and the first stage is just brainstorm these big ideas. Don't filter out what you think is possible. So it's not really about what's realistic, it's about what is lighting a spark in you, what makes you come alive. So the next part of this process of writing your life list is to, once you've got a list of 25, then look through your list and notice what stands out to you. What draws you? What are you most curious about? Which items make your heart beat just a little bit faster? Which items maybe feel exciting, but maybe even a little scary in a good way? One of my goals from a previous life list was to circumnavigate the globe, which meant one continuous loop around the world and stop along the way. But that seemed overwhelming, seemed like impossible, especially with my income at the time. It was just something that came to my mind. It's like, this would be cool to say that I've circumnavigated the globe, and I did during that project. So as you're looking at your list and kind of looking for items that stand out to you, circle a few or highlight a few, 3 to 5 ideas. And these might be in groupings. So you might have a few hobbies that you've listed that you could put into a group. So just look for those maybe groupings and identify 3 to 5 top items that you're most curious about, that you want to pursue, perhaps as part of your good life project. And I'm guessing at this point, if you're like me and seeing my list, I listed a few things that were just like activities or events that could be one-off things that I did. That's more of like a bucket list, is just trying to take off these challenges that you have. But for a life list, they're foundational, but you want to work on those items a little bit and refine them into something that's more substantive. So that's the next part of this process. You want to refine those top 3 ideas or categories of passions so they are more meaningful and substantial, not just a to-do list. I mentioned as I looked over my life list from this period, I saw a number of items that could be completed in a matter of days, like, for example, create a website or get a tattoo. They weren't connected to, at the time, seemingly connected to anything grander than that. I'm going to walk you through how to refine this, but you can refer to the worksheet I provided and link below to get some more detail here. So next, I just want you to move from just events to more embodiments. So not just what you want to accomplish, but who you want to become in this process, in this good life project. Another example might be if you have on your life list, which is a common thing, run a marathon. I want you to challenge yourself, think a little bit deeper about this. So what quality would running a marathon build in you or help you embody in some way? What is it connected to at a deeper level inside of your passions and desires and interests? For example, so focus on the character traits, capacities, or ways of being you want to develop. And another example of running a marathon might be build endurance and discipline in all areas of my life. That's a little bit deeper, more robust way of framing this idea of running a marathon. Build endurance and discipline in all areas of my life, or become someone who keeps commitments to myself. That could be your overarching theme for the year. Or cultivate resilience through challenge. And running a marathon is one of those. So you're finding deeper, more interesting ways of framing these events, these one-time events. So if you would, just think about those top 3 items and ask the question, what would this help me become? What would this event or experience help me become? And if you can't answer that, dig deeper or reconsider that item. I'm going to share with you now how I refine my list of 20-some items that I mentioned into just 7, and they became more like almost like mantras for me as I continue to evolve my project. So I'm going to just walk you through those 7 items that I kind of paraphrased the longer list into this 7 items. So the first one is love self, come out fully. Like I said, I wasn't out fully yet. Live authentically and keep dating men for the first time. To laugh more, smile often, enjoy good music. Want to love others, build closer social ties, and create positive experiences for myself and other people. I want to forget the past. When rumination starts, get active. So it wasn't just I wanted to erase my past. I was in a phase of my life when I was ruminating on things that I regretted. Even dating men for the first time, those things kind of kept coming up. Number 5 was embrace imperfections, forgive self and others. Number 6, find peace with God, practice daily silence. Number 7, balance work and purpose, seek fulfilling work, home, and partnerships. So those are just a summary of the longer list of items, and I wanted to find a way to make them more manageable and memorable for my year ahead. I mentioned I've shared with you my full list of brainstorm life list items and my refined list of 7 would eventually over time, and this took a few weeks, maybe months at the time, I didn't have this compass process that I've developed to help me through this, so it took some time to do this on my own. Those 7 items turned into 3 intentions for the year. The 3 intentions were love and life, peace with God, and a job I like, because that seemed to capture what I was wrestling with for that year. I really wanted to find a partner in crime, a partner in life, but also a better community. I wanted to kind of make peace with God about my identity. And I also wanted to find a job I liked. I'd been freelancing and spent most of my career in higher education, so I wanted to get back into higher education. I'll get into some of the background details about how these 3 items came about and what I did with them in tomorrow's video. For now, I just wanted to see how this process of brainstorming can be refined over time. And again, you really don't want to focus just on events or one-off things that you can do as part of this project. You want it to be connected to something deeper and greater for your life. So let me share a summary statement with you as we move into the practice, reminding you of the practice for today. Don't underestimate the power of noticing what excites you as potential direction and meaning and purpose in life. So I've mentioned a number of things. I just want to remind you of the key items to be working on for today. The first one is to write or add to your Come Alive list so you have at least a list of 25 items to work with. And then circle or check off or highlight the top 3 items or themes that you feel drawn to the most. It's best if it's not just an event, but something you can embody over this next phase of your life. So do that work of refining it, if they just seem like events, to make them more substantial and substantive. Then I want you to ask yourself, if you could design a 1-year project based on these top items, what would that look like? Don't overthink it, just begin to sketch out what that project might look like. So continue to brainstorm what that looks like over this next season of your life. Tomorrow we'll continue to brainstorm and work on taking the top items and beginning to flesh them out into a 30-day prototype to test yourself, to test it, to see if it's something worthy of spending a year on. So that's what tomorrow's all about. Don't forget, please subscribe and join a wait list if you want for the gay men's coaching group around these ideas. and I'm developing a wait list. I'd love to meet with people in person because this process is most effective when you work on it with other people. So I'm developing a wait list for men who are interested in doing this together. That's it for today. So have a great rest of your day, and I will see you hopefully tomorrow. All right, bye-bye.